Hi children, this is your social ma'am. See, today we are going to learn chapter 2, land, soil, water and natural vegetation and wildlife from geography. These are all the contents we are going to learn in this chapter. Introduction, land resources, in that land use, conservation of land resources, soil resources, in that factors of soil formation, degradation of soil and conservation measures, then water resources, in that problems of water availability, conservation of water resources, then natural vegetation and wildlife, distribution of natural vegetation and conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Introduction. See children, in this chapter we are going to learn about the resources of land, water, soil, natural vegetation, wildlife, and also availability of these resources and how to conserve these resources and how we are wasting these resources. These are all we are going to see in this chapter. See the first one, land resources. This is the most important natural resources. 30% of Earth's surface we have the land. Remaining 70% we have water. In that 30%, people have used only less places and remains are not habitable because of uneven distribution of land. See the next slide children. See, and also we have two types of areas people were settled. The first one, densely populated areas. So the plains and river valleys. So already we have studied in our history. So the people were settled at the first in the place of the river and also plains. And sparsely means what is it in less? Uninhabited, populated areas in mountains, desert areas, thick forested areas. In these places, we can find only less people are living. See the land use. Land used for different purposes: agriculture, forestry, building houses, roads and industries, and mining, gold mining, diamond mining. For this and all, we are using our land. So these things we termed as land use. What are the classification of land? We have two types of classification: private and community land. What is mean by private land? Private land is owned by individuals. We are having our own property of house or the garden. This we can call it as private. Community land, owned by community for common use or common property resources. Common property resources taken care by the government. For example, forest. So what are the factors affect this land? People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. So people started to construct the buildings and also expanded agriculture in the common land. At last, we face land degradation. Land degradation means நிலமாசுபாடு, landslides, நிலச்சரிவு, soil erosion, மண் அரித்தல், then desertification, காடுமயமாகுதல். So how to conserve these land resources? See, growing population and their demands are increasing the great demand, and also the present rate of degradation must be checked. Methods used to conserve the land resources are afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Pesticides means பூச்சி மருந்து, fertilizers means உரம். Checks on overgrazing. See this slide, children. What is soil? Soil is a mixture of minerals, water, air, organic matter and living organisms. See the picture of soil profile, what you have studied in your science. Topsoil with humus and vegetation. What is mean by humus? The destroyed plants and animals mixed together in this type. Then subsoil with sand, silt and clay. Then weathered rock materials. That means what is it? Broken rock materials. Then parent rock. See, these are all the factors of soil formation. See this picture, children. Parent rock determines color, texture, chemical properties, mineral and content and lot of things. Relief determines altitude. Altitude means height and slope, and also determines accumulation of soil. And also flora, fauna and microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation. And also climate determines the temperature, rainfall influence, rate of weathering and humus formation. And also time determines thickness of soil profile. See the next slide, children. Degradation of soil and conservation measures. Soil erosion and depletion are major threats. Depletion means reduce. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. So what are the factors affecting the soil? Deforestation, overgrazing. Overgrazing means what is it? அதிகப்படியான மேய்ச்சல். Overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, rain was, landslides and floods. How to conserve these soils? So we can follow different methods. See the first picture, mulching. That means we need to cover any other materials to retain soil moisture. See the second one, contour barriers. That means we need to make trenches in front of the barriers to collect waters. Barriers means bund. What will say in Tamil? Varappu. Then rock dam. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of the water. So they will arrange some layers of the rocks to slow down the water flow. Then terrace farming. This terrace farming type of agriculture were used in the steep slopes. And intercropping. Intercropping means different types of crops are grown in alternative rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. Then the next one, contour plowing. See that plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barriers for water to flow down the slope. Sometimes we are doing in our plain land what we will say, பார் பிடித்து உழுவுதல். Then shelter bills. In the coastal areas they will plant different types of trees to identify the wind movement. So these are the conservation methods we can use for the soil. See the next slide, children. Water resources. Water is a vital renewable resources. 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. So in that 2/3 of ocean water. So this is not fit for human use due to the saline. Fresh water in our earth we have 2.7%. This we got it from the ice sheets and glaciers. Glaciers means snow river. And also in that 2.7, only 1% is fit for human use. That we got it from the groundwater, rivers and lakes. See the next slide, children. Water cycle. Yes, water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. So you have studied about water cycle. The water is it evaporated and its condensation was done in the clouds. Then again we are getting the precipitation, rain. So these process will be continued. Then water usage. So for what are the purpose we are using for this water? Drinking and washing, and also for agriculture, industries, generating electricity. And what are the factors affecting this water? Population, demand of food and cash crops, water pollution, drying up of water sources. See the next slide, children. Problems of water availability. See Africa, West Asia, South Asia, South America, Mexico, Australia. These countries and all they are facing water scarcity. Drought in climate zones. These are also the major problem of some countries where it is located on this type of climate zones. Then how to conserve this water? Shortage of clean and adequate water nowadays we are facing. Overuse and pollution make it unfit for use, so need to be controlled. Sewage, agricultural, chemicals and industrial effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. Need to take steps before releasing them in water bodies. Water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. Need to reduce or minimize the losses of water by seepage. Seepage means leakage. In that canals. Canal means vehicle. In dry region, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. See the next topic, children. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist in biosphere. So what is meant by biosphere? The narrow zone of lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. In biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. We depended on plants. Plants means vegetation in various purposes like fruits, nuts, medicine, etc. Wildlife includes animals, birds, and insects, etc. And also they provide milk, meat, hides, and wool. For example, the bird vulture can feed dead animals. So we consider this is a vital cleanser of the environment. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. What are the types of vegetation? Forest, grasslands, scrubs and tundra. See in that forest, we can have different types of forest we have studied in your 7th standard. Evergreen do not shed their leaves. Deciduous shed their leaves based on season. Temperate and tropical, based on the location, vegetation may be vary based on the climate. Grasslands, we have received moderate rainfall. In scrubs, in that areas we received low rainfall. Tundra, cold polar regions where we can found lichens and mosses. Mosses means partial. Lichens means some type of plant. It grow in the rock. Then conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. What are the affecting factors? Changes of climates and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species are endangered. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami, and landslides. Animals are poached, illegal hunting. Poached means what is it? Illegal hunting, and illegal trade increased. How to conserve these natural vegetation and wildlife? National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our national vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creeks. Creeks means stream of water smaller than a river. Lakes and wetlands is necessary to save the precious resources from depletion. Depletion means what is it? Reduce. Awareness programs like social forestry and One Mahotsav should be conducted. Need to improve the laws for killing the birds and animals. CITS prohibited animal trading. So improve your knowledge, children. Take a list of national parks, bird sanctuaries, and wildlife in India. Identify that what are animals need to be protected. Study about the types of agriculture. List out the soil and its plantation. Check your listening skill, children. Expand CITS. Refer your book. How do you conserve the water resource? What are the classification of land? What are the methods used for soil conservation? Which is considered as a vital cleanser of the environment? Thank you, children.